On November 28th, 2019, I received a text message from my brother Dan. He asked me if I had read the new email message left on our website. I had not, and I told him so. He texted back almost immediately and said that I needed to see this email, for it was very strange, and it was signed with only a single cryptic initial, N. I went online and read the message, and then again, my brother was right to call this to my attention, for it was beyond weird. I was instantly alarmed by the words addressed to me, and my mind began to tear apart the substance of this letter and to try to understand the implications. This mysterious person, identified by the initial N, was writing to me for help, having chanced upon our website and drawing certain conclusions from the material contained within. N was writing to me because my particular dream life, well documented on this website, was in some ways similar to his own, and I use the masculine pronoun here by convention due to the strangely peculiar parallelisms contained within the text, and further that he too was being absorbed by something or by someone outside of his understanding, outside of his control. I felt a shiver run up my spine, for I knew intuitively that the words of this book, regardless of his denial to the contrary, was responsible. One does not have to be in physical possession of the book in question for that they become the subject to certain emanations. One need only to see the words as we have curated them thus far, in that these words bore down into the mind and become manifest in dreams. I should have seen this. I should have anticipated such a internal connection. But I was ignorant, and I was not critical of my own thinking. And now my fear is that this book, this contagion, is part of a vast network, the body of which is part of a larger consciousness. I have, through the curation of the Book of Soren, brought this thing, for good or for evil, to life. M could not have anticipated what my brother Dan and I would do with the possession of this book. And now it is too late to stop the spread of this contagion. If contagion is what it is. But of course, there is another possibility. Perhaps this is exactly what M intended to happen, and that unwillingly I have been part of the plan from the very beginning, even as a tool is used. Wait. I'm beginning to talk nonsense. For in truth, I do not even know what this book is, but only that it has a type of intrinsic power over those that pursue its wisdom. If in some way I am bringing danger to any of my readers, it is purely accidental. Now I get this cryptic message in my mailbox, and I am beginning to worry. This letter speaks for itself, and I do not intend to question the motivation of its author. But I have no special wisdom to offer. The wisdom is inside of the Book of Soren. I do not know the identity of this author known as N, so I feel it is my prerogative, as I see appropriate, to publish this letter in its entirety. And perhaps in some small way, I may become aware of something buried inside of my mind that could be of some comfort to N. I now read this letter without further speculation. Dear Kay, I am writing you this letter because I do not know what else to do. 3 weeks ago, on an otherwise ordinary night, I was visited by a dream so intense that it has burned into my very soul. It was not a bad dream, but it haunts me like a specter. And over the last few days, more like a shadow. I think some truth can be too much for the human physiology to bear, let alone a botanist like myself who chose the companionship of plant and fungi for their simplicity. Every night now the dream comes, and the feeling visits me regularly during the waking hours like a sine wave. I'm writing you because this dream is eating me, at least the parts of me required to function in a modern civil society. And I can see that you have experience in these kinds of dreams. I have not read the Book of Soren, nor have I visited the Scottish Highlands. But I came across your webpage and discovered your writing on such peculiar topics as these. I will try to describe the dream. A grassy mountain looms behind me as the sunshine pierces through the shroud of fog at its peak. In front of me is a clearing, and then an expanse of mature temperate forest. I have a small cook fire that I can hear crackling in the beating of bleeding nearby grazing sheep. A skink scampers by my right foot, and a red squirrel chatters in the woods. Then, in the blink of an eye, the sun goes down and the moon rises, accompanied by a soupy, dark mist. The wind whistles through the trees and extinguishes my fire while the grass curls brown. Before I know it, the sun is in the sky. My fire is lit. I can feel the warmth on my skin, and I can smell burning flesh. Then day becomes night, and the wind blows harder, and the woods sing louder. Then day and night in the blink of an eye. Then faster, the sun melts into the moon. Then faster, a great serpent lies dead at my foot and decays while its roar reverberates in my ear. Then faster, the woods burn while moss, flowers, shrubs, and the same mighty trees as before arise in the ashes. Time is moving so fast, and the grass at my feet is both green and brown. The wind has blown away my body bit by bit. Then faster, and time is moving so fast that it has lost all dimensionality. The mountain simultaneously forms and turns to dust. In this state, birth, bloom, wilt, growth, decay, black, white, father, son, life, and death are the same united reality. Everything happens in one simultaneous, infinite screech. The sound. Is there a difference between absolute silence and the most violent cacophony? I am afraid because I have no capacity for it. Whatever happened to me was dwarfed by the scale of the reality. Besides, the atomic elements of myself had returned to the ground and then diffused across space into all things good, chaotic, and evil. And my essence will always exist for having existed. Time moves so fast that I can only see matter assembling before giving to entropy. Then I can only see energy, quanta pulsing and cycling through whatever organic or inorganic matter might be there. Then there is some essence wholly indescribable. Everything collapses into itself, and I wake up. What happens when space collapses like time? What do I do? N. That was it. The longer I ponder this dream, the greater becomes its significance. And it is just as if this dream were wrenched directly out of a universal, metaphorical repository. Can the human mind conceive of such a complete metaphorical concept outside of the individual mind? I tend to believe that a dream of this intensity, of this scale has been channeled for a purpose. I further fear that my own experience, frightening as it was, may be used as a catalyst for other journeyers of the mind. And I fear what those journeyers may bring back with them.